So how did this whole pilgrimage idea get started? Just briefly, we this there's a bunch of groups that came together and said that this is not the activity in the United States and the Catholic Church in particular is not commensurate with the problem that we face. Um, so that's the primary reason, but our response needs to be ramped up. So our partners gathered in November of 2023 to discern the steps forward. In the last half of this year, we settled on this idea of pilgrimages. So this year marks the 10th anniversary of Pope Francis's encyclical Laudato Si on care for our common home. This year also marks the 800th anniversary of St. Francis's Canticle of the Creatures. This, as you know, was a primary inspiration for Pope Francis in writing Laudato Si. And in fact, Laudato Si is Praise Be, which begins the canticle. So we know that this was instrumental in the inspiration for writing Laudato Si. And we are in a crisis. Many of you have seen these graphs before. The burning of fossil fuels primarily as a primary greenhouse gas is heating the earth. And there's a direct correlation between the beginning of that in the 1850s or so until today. And last year, 2024 was the warmest year on record. And every year prior to that, the last 10 years have been warmer than the previous one. So, or the last 10 years have been the warmest of all time, according to measurements going back to 1850. So we know that this creates unpredictable weather, extends droughts, increases weather events, wet weather events in particular, as we've just seen in the Southeast and all over the world. So this warming of the planet is causing lots of havoc. And of course, that impacts low-income people the most, whether they're here or abroad. They're the ones who are getting hit the hardest and have contributed the least. So in Laudato Si, Pope Francis talks about three fundamental relationships: with God, with our neighbor, and with the earth. And he makes the case that when one of those relationships is not attended to, the other two suffer. So if we feel the world's resources are meant just for me and me alone, then why would I care about the devastating impacts of mining in countries desperate for jobs? If I fail to spend time each day in prayer and contemplation, then I decrease the chances that God speaks to my heart. So you get the idea. Quoting Benedict XVI, who said this when he was inaugurated as Pope in 2005, April 2005, Francis uses that quote and notes that the external deserts of the world are growing because the internal deserts have become so vast. So this is why we hope you will engage in pilgrimages, to contemplate and open our hearts to God, God's good creation, and our neighbors, wherever they may be. So that's a brief history and a little bit of the reasoning why we're doing pilgrimages. And I'm going to turn it over to Anna Johnson from Laudato Si movement, who will then share a little bit more about what this is all about. So thank you.